Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I didn't expect a moment that broke my marriage to arrive wrapped in fairy lights and champagne. Weddings are supposed to make you feel hopeful, sentimental, maybe even a little protective of what you have. Instead, I stood there frozen, listening to my wife laugh loud enough for half the reception hall to hear, while her friends leaned in like they'd been starving for gossip. I wasn't even supposed to catch the conversation. I had walked over to bring her another drink, a simple gesture that should have made her smile. Instead, I heard her words before she saw me standing behind her. "Oh my God, did you see that guy? His bulge is insane. I swear, it could outshine my husband's any day." The table erupted. She laughed the hardest. My name wasn't mentioned, but every pair of eyes flicking to me afterward told the whole story. It wasn't just a comparison. It was humiliation, served casually, like she didn't even consider my dignity worth protecting. I didn't feel anger. Not at first. The world around me felt distant, blurred, like sound had been sucked out of the room. The songs playing, the chatter, the clinking forks, they all faded beneath one sharp realization. She didn't respect me. Not even in the smallest, most private corners of her mind. Some men would have confronted her then and there, ready to cause a scene. But something inside me went quiet instead. Quiet in a way that means something irreversible just happened. She finally noticed me, smiled drunkenly, and waved me over, completely unaware of what I'd heard. I placed a drink in front of her, without a word. Her friends stared at me with that uncomfortable mix of pity and secondhand shame. She didn't notice that either. She never noticed much when the attention of others was feeding her. The drive home was suffocating in its silence. She hummed a song from the wedding playlist, scrolling through pictures, occasionally laughing at something on her phone. Not once did it occur to her that the silence wasn't normal. She only looked up when we were 10 minutes from home and asked, half joking, "You're not mad about anything, right?" I kept my eyes on the road. "No," I said, and somehow that one word sounded so calm, she didn't know what to do with it. She shrugged and went back to her phone. That shrug told me everything. She didn't take me seriously. She never had. That night, I lay on the far edge of the bed, staring at the wall while she snored lightly behind me. Her laughter replayed in loops, overlapping with the look on her friends' faces, the way their eyes darted awkwardly in my direction. There are moments in life when a single sentence can drag years of buried truth into the light. That night was mine. It wasn't about the comparison. It was about knowing she felt comfortable making me the punchline among people who barely knew me. The days that followed were a quiet unraveling. She tried acting normal, kissing my cheek in the morning, asking about my meetings, talking about small errands she planned to run, but I responded with polite distance. No arguments. No passive-aggressive remarks. Just distance. The kind that makes someone realize something important is slipping through their fingers. 2 days after the wedding, I heard her on the phone in the kitchen. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. I had walked in to grab water and froze when I heard my name. She laughed softly, embarrassed with herself this time instead of carefree. "Yeah, I know I went too far. But honestly, he's being so dramatic. It was a joke. Plus, okay, maybe I flirted with the guy a little, but it was harmless. Nothing happened." My fingers tightened around the water bottle. So there it was, the part she never planned to admit. The laughter at the table wasn't just a joke fueled by alcohol. It was rooted in something real enough for her to hide. When she noticed me standing there, she went pale. Her voice cracked. "How much did you hear?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. I walked past her and headed for the bedroom, closing the door behind me, not with rage, but with the kind of quiet finality that's louder than shouting. That night, I drafted the paperwork. Her laughter had broken something, but her lie had buried it. The next morning, she woke up before me. I could hear her pacing in the hallway, opening and closing drawers like she was searching for a version of me she still recognized. When I finally stepped out of the bedroom, she hovered near the kitchen door, wringing her hands like she was preparing for a verdict. Her voice was small, almost unfamiliar. "Can we talk?" I nodded, Not because I owed her comfort, but because clarity mattered now more than anything. She swallowed hard before asking the question that had been clawing at her since the night before. "You're really mad at me, aren't you?" "Not mad." That was the part she didn't understand. Anger burns hot and fast. What I felt was cold, steady, and permanent. "I'm done," I said quietly. She blinked, confused at first. Then the meaning seeped in. Her breath hitched. "Done with what?" "With all of this," I said. "The disrespect, the jokes, the way you talk about me like I'm someone you barely tolerate." She shook her head rapidly. "It wasn't like that. I was drunk. I was being stupid. I don't mean half the things I say when—" I raised my hand slightly, not to silence her, but to stop the excuses forming before she could spit them out. "You meant enough of it to say it," I replied, "and you meant enough of it to flirt with someone else while wearing my ring." That crushed her composure. She grabbed the edge of the counter like her knees went weak. "I didn't cheat," she blurted out. "I swear, I know what it sounded like, but I didn't do anything." "You just wanted to," I said, "and honestly, that's worse." She looked at me with wide, frantic eyes, as if realizing too late that some lines can't be taken back. She moved closer, reaching for my arm like physical touch might stitch the damage she'd done. I stepped back. The space between us became a verdict. "Please," she whispered, her voice trembling now. "Don't do this. Don't throw everything away because of one stupid joke." "It wasn't one joke," I said. "It was what it revealed." She wiped her face with the back of her hand, leaving streaks of mascara along her wrists. For the first time in a long time, she wasn't performing, wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was scared. And that's when she finally started telling the truth. "I liked the attention," she admitted weakly. "I know that sounds awful, but I felt invisible that night. Everyone kept talking about how beautiful the bridesmaids were, how good the groom looked, how fit the groomsmen were. I just wanted to feel wanted." Her honesty came too late to matter, but I listened anyway. She continued in a shaky voice. "And when he flirted with me, I laughed because it felt good. I didn't think you'd hear. I didn't think you'd care that much." That last sentence landed like another blow. She didn't think I'd care. That's exactly the problem. She hadn't considered my feelings in a long time. I told her calmly, "You wanted attention, but you wanted it from the wrong person." She covered her mouth to keep a sob from spilling out, then choked on it anyway. "I'll do anything," she said desperately. "Therapy, counseling, whatever you want. I'll stop going out with my friends. Please, just don't leave me." I stepped toward the dining table and placed a folder on it. The paperwork I had finished the night before. She stared at it like it was glowing, like it burned. "You already filled it out," she whispered. "Yes." Her shoulders shook. She pulled out a chair slowly and dropped into it, burying her face in her hands. "I didn't think I'd actually lose you," she whispered through her fingers. "You always forgive me." "Yeah," I said, "and that's how we ended up here." She looked up at me, eyes red, voice cracking. "You're choosing this over me?" "No," I said softly. "You chose this long before I did." The room fell silent, except for her uneven breathing. She reached for the paperwork with trembling hands, scanning the pages even though she could barely see through tears. "Please don't do this," she pleaded again, but her voice held less certainty now, more resignation, more understanding. She wasn't pleading for forgiveness anymore. She was pleading against consequences. And that's when I truly knew it was over. I walked toward the door, grabbed my keys, and paused only once. "Take care of yourself," I said quietly. "And next time, don't laugh at the person who loves you." I left without looking back. Her sobs followed me to the car. But for the first time in a long time, I felt free.